found it. I found it. I found a pattern that comes together the quickest that I have ever made anything. Welcome back to Minnie in the Mountains. I am Jen. From first cut to final stitch, 20 minutes. Are you ready? This is the accordion wallet from LuxeHardware and more, and she comes together so freaking quick. I was in a terrible sewing rut, didn't know what to make, wanted to make something quick, beautiful, functional, found it, and these are going to be so good for market season. You can whip these out so quick and price them at like 20, 25 bucks. You're going to make it. You're going to do it. This is the one that we make in the video. This is my tester version. They're both beautiful. I did the raw edge version on both of these. There is a non-raw edge version included in the pattern. So you don't need to edge coat if you do the raw or the non-raw edge version. Since I did the raw edge version, I did decide to edge coat them. Thank you, Mojo Sews, for your wonderful edge paint. You don't need to edge paint because the edge paint takes the longest. It's just the nature of the beast to wait in between the coats. But it makes them look better. Just saying. This is all that you need for this little guy. It doesn't take a lot of material. You just need a magnetic snap or a fashion snap, or glam it up and use something cute from all our favorite shops. This half moon snap is from Saya Swag. I love it. And then you just need one of these 10 card accordion inserts, which is from either Soulful Therapy or LuxeHardware and more. Both shops carry them for very reasonably priced. That's it. You just need 2 rows of stitching. And that's it. Guys, go grab the pattern. Thank you so much to LuxeHardware and more for allowing me to film a tutorial for your beautiful pattern and for allowing me to test your pattern because I needed it. I needed it to pull me out of my rut, and it did. So thank you. Go subscribe, like the video, send a comment, say hi, whatever. I would love to hear from you. And any interaction really helps the channel, and I appreciate it. Let's get to sewing, and let's get to selling. Okay, so in the pattern, there are 2 versions. There's either raw edged or non-raw edged. I'm going to be doing the non-raw edge. I'm going to be using this vinyl from Fabric Therapy. If you're doing the other version where you're using a quilting cotton or something, just make sure that you're using the correct pattern piece because they are slightly different. So I'm going to be using that on my outside as my main. And then I'm going to be using this self-adhesive ripstop that's being tested from Soulful Therapy. I don't know when it will be available, but hopefully it will be coming soon because this stuff makes this project go even faster and you'll be obsessed with it. If obviously you don't have any of that because it's not available yet, just use another vinyl if you're doing a raw edge, vinyl, jelly vinyl, waterproof canvas, or what have you for the lining, and either spray baste it on or tape around the edges for the lining. And then you're going to need one of these accordion inserts. It's got 10 slots and it's got these little wings, which I've already applied tape to. You can get this either from Soulful Therapy or LuxeHardware and more. I will link everything down below. So you're going to need one of those. And that's it, like for the main pieces. Now let's talk interfacing. Okay, so for interfacing, in Ginger's tutorial, the pattern designer from LuxeHardware and more, she uses this stuff called Selpa. It is self-adhesive, and I would compare it to like a Decaville Light. I've never used it before. It's a little lighter than I would normally go for a wallet, but we're going to try it today and see how it goes. And I will link below where you can try and find that at, because I mean, it's self-adhesive, so that's always a plus. But if you don't have that, some other alternatives that you might have on hand is Craft Tex. I use this a lot for this classic zip-around wallets. Craftex would be good, or Decaville Heavy, which Decaville Heavy is what I used in my tester version, and I do really like how it holds up. It gives it a nice sturdiness, and I can't clip that together because I can't see it. There we go. So whatever you have on hand is kind of the name of the game, especially for market prep. You don't want to put any more money into it than you absolutely need to, so use what you have. But today we're going to be using this Salpa and see how it goes. Okay, some other notions that we're going to need. I'm going to be using my name tag here from Heartwood and Hide. And then you're going to need some kind of closure. I'm going to be using these rivet magnetic snaps from Cam Snap. So I'll need my press for that and the dies to go with it. You could also use, like I did on this one, a half moon snap. I got this one from Swag. Some kind of closure. You could also use some fashion snaps from Cam Snaps, whatever you have. And then you're going to need, I use 1/4 inch wide double-sided tape from Wefton Warp. And then some kind of marking tools. I have the vinyl marking pen and an area erasing pen. Something to make some marks with. And then I am using Tex 70 thread. And then this is all on my Juki 1181N. Alright, so let's get started. I have my main piece. And as you can see, I put the interfacing on. This is that Salpa. And I did put it like 1/8 of an inch from the edge. As you can tell, it's totally not perfect, but that's all right. And then I also marked the center of my top and bottom, just with a really small little tick with a vinyl marking pen. If you have a name tag, you're going to want to put that on before we put the lining on. So from my last one, as you can see on this one, I put my name tag 4 inches down from the top. Oh, I should also mention that there are different styles of flaps in the pattern. There's a bunch, so you have options. So yeah, on this one I put it 4 inches down from the top. I think that was a little too low, so I'm going to do 3.5 on this one. So I just used my little tick for the center mark that I made. Line it up. Since this is curved, it's a little more difficult, and my tags are always a little wonky anyways. I'm okay with that. Wonkiness is what makes it our own, right? And really, we're the only ones who notice. All right, I'm going to center that as best I can. You could also fold your tag in half, or if you have a metal one, that looks about good. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and just sew that down at 1/8 of an inch. All right, told you, it's always a little wonky. They always get a little, that's all right. Name tag is on. Remember, if you're using a metal one, to put some tape over your prongs. And if you are using a snap closure that has like the metal prongs on the back and you don't want those metal prongs seen, Ginger in her video tells you can take another little scrap of like vinyl to cover that up and just glue it onto the back, like on the lining. If you're not a fan of that like me and you want it hidden, you're going to want to put that on now. You can either, I would not do both because you don't know exactly where you're going to want it, but I would put on at least your female snap. So from the bottom, I found if you go up 1 1/8 inch from the bottom, mark a center and install your female snap. That'll give you a little bit better idea of where to place it when we're all done and we fold it all up, of where you would like the male portion of your snap. So that is just if you have the prongs or whatever you're wanting to do, if you don't want to have that be seen. So with me though, since I'm using those rivet snaps, I can do it all at the end and just pierce it right through the lining and whatnot too. So now we're going to flip that over, and then you can put your lining on. Since I'm using this self-adhesive liner, the ripstop, I like to make it a little bit longer than my piece, and I just try and line it up as best as I can. There might be a little bit of a gap on the sides. And this stuff is really nice because it pulls up easily too if you need to reposition it. But yeah, I just go all the way down, nice and slow. I hope this is all in frame. All the way up. And then when I get to my flat piece, I'm just going to take it a little bit farther, cut it off, and then I can trim it down. And trim that off and trim this off. And in the pattern as well, she has these, this bottom, the corners sharp. I don't personally like that look, so I kind of beveled the corners. That's not in the pattern. That's just what I did. So I'm going to go ahead and trim that away, and then we'll be ready for the next step. Next step, we're going to need this accordion insert, and then our main body piece. As you can see, I got my liner all together on that. From the bottom, you're going to mark a 1/2 inch up. And I'm just using my vinyl marking pen right on the very edge, and making the smallest of tick marks. I don't even know if you can see them. Yeah, you can see them. 1/2 inch up. And then I took my 1/4 inch wide double-sided tape on all the wings. I put it on the very outer edges of the wings. Peel the tape up. And you're going to want to make sure, you can see that this has like cardboard here. That wants to be towards the bottom of your wallet. You don't want to see that. You want to see the pretty side. Okay, so take one of the wings, match it up with that mark. In Ginger's tutorial, she puts her wings a little bit further in, like 1/8 of an inch in. I like to go right flush with the edge. And then I just add some clips because we are going to be maneuvering this a little bit. Okay, now go to the other side, the same wing, same side, and pull up the tape, or just keep picking at it and not have anything happen. That's cool too. Come on. Here we go. All right, move that out of the way and match this one up to that other tick mark. Either flush or a little bit away. Whatever you do to one, do to the other. And add some tape. Okay, now let's get rid of my mess. Now, wherever your wing ends up, mark from that wing 1 1/4 inches. So I just put my ruler right up against that wing. What am I hitting here? Right up against that wing, 1 1/4, and I'm going to make another little tiny little tick. And then go to this side, match it up to that wing, 1 1/4. Okay. Now, this one, these wings are going to want to fight you a little bit when you put these on. It's not difficult though. So peel the wing up and flip this like so, and match the bottom of that wing up to that tick. And then throw some clips on so she don't move. You can also use, if you don't have double-sided tape or you want to use glue, if your machine doesn't like double-sided tape, you can use glue. And then just turn your wallet. Hey, that side played nicer. And do the same thing for this side. Match it up to that tick. And place it down. And make sure it's aligned. Okay, so that's like what we got. And now we're just going to sew around the whole perimeter. I like to start on the wing because it's kind of a little more hidden. And you're just going to go 1/8 of an inch away, and then we're going to do a second row. I do that 1/4 inch in. Totally up to you what you want to do. Sorry, let's knock the camera. All right, so like I said, I'm going to start in the wing. You're going to need to kind of move these guys out of the way. I like to start with tails long, and then I will pull them to the back and tie them off. And I'm using a 5 stitch length. Let's go. If I can grab my threads, that would be awesome. Here we go. Alrighty. Now, I don't know if you saw, when I get to these wings, whenever my foot is about to go over it, I kind of hold it down so my foot doesn't go under it. Ask me how I know to do that. So I'm going to tie this off. Just pull my threads to the back. Sometimes they don't want to be nice. Pull my threads to the back, tie them off, and then we're going to do a second row stitching. Second verse, same as the first. What's that from? I said that the other day and I can't remember. All right, second row. I line it up with my 1/4 inch mark and go around again. Make sure to hold down those flaps too. Go ahead and pull out your threads, pull them through, and tie them off. All right, we got both of our stitch lines there all around. Next part is, you see where the wings meet up, wherever those are on both sides, you're going to take it and kind of fold it all along to make that squared off bottom. And then do the same for the other side where the wings are. Kind of fold it and then all across. That way we have a squared off bottom like so. Then you're going to flip your flap over. And this is where you're going to determine where you want your flap to sit. So you have to kind of imagine if it's filled with things, you're going to need a little room. You don't want it to be like super tight because then you're not going to be able to get anything in it. So I like to go maybe like that. Make sure that the sides are aligned. And then I like to put some clips to kind of hold it. Now, as you can see, I kind of marked where I would want my snap. I'll give you that. I place it about 3/8 of an inch up from the, sorry, not even in front, 3/8 of an inch up and centered. And remember, if you already installed yours, they're there if you have the pronged ones. Sorry, it got really loud here for a second. So I had to redo this section. All right, as you can see, I marked my placement and I took this and I just punched a hole. Okay, and we're gonna take our male snap, that should be the thinner one, the outie. And then I'm gonna use one of these rivet buddies from Carolina Little Stitches. Since that Selpa wasn't super beefy, I kind of want to beef it up. So hopefully you won't be able to see this, but if not, it's me. It'll add a little pop of neon in there. All right, so for these rivet ones, I just place the rivet like that, and you'll be able to see that from the outside. And that'll give us kind of a little off center, but that's okay. a determination on where we can put our male snap. So I'm going to go set these and then I will be back. All right, that worked out pretty good. Can't really see the rivet buddy. Sweet, always plus. Now to find the placement, I like to, we're going to fold that back where we kind of want it. See, I'm leaving a good amount on the top. So like I said, if it gets full, it can still close nicely. So what I like to do is take my silver marking pen and I just kind of color the nub from the snap, and then I can press it down. And then when I lift it up, ta-da! Don't forget to wipe the snap off. And then, since I'm using those rivet ones, and I don't care if you can see the inside, I'm gonna mark my place or snap my placement, punch my placement, whatever, you know what I'm saying, and wipe off the vinyl there too. And then I'm going to use another little rivet buddy. These things are so cool. This female portion is going to go on the outside of our body, and then the cap just goes over like so. And then I will set that, and then we're going to move on to the longest part in the process if you choose to go that route, which is edge painting. So let me set that and we'll come back. Look at that. Was that not the quickest thing ever? Now you could totally be done right now. If you do not want to edge paint, if you did the raw version, you don't have to. It's still totally functional and looks great. I am going to edge paint, so that will take the longest. So what I do before I edge paint is I just hit all the edges. Well, make sure that all your edges align first. If you have any discrepancies, go ahead and trim up. I just hit all the edges with a lighter to get rid of any frays or whatever. Okay, and then I'm going to use my edge paints from Mojo Sews. I'm going to use this pretty purple because Haunted Mansion. So I will do usually about 2 or 3 coats of base and then color, usually about 2 coats of color, and then 1 coat of top. And I let them sit for about 20 minutes in between each and make sure to sand. But yeah, if you decide to not go that route, you do not have to. And you can also crease the top too to give that same kind of boxed look. But yeah, you're essentially done. This was the quickest thing. You'll see in the beginning of my edge painting. I'm not going to include that in here. There are a lot of other great tutorials. I am by no means a edge painting expert, so I will save you from that, like my little Wonka tag. And then you open it up and you got 10 slots. And you can also, this is open, so you can slide a bill underneath that, your money through it. And I mean, these are perfect, and I think that they're going to do so awesome at markets, different, holiday stuff that are coming up. Oh, look at that. You can see me in the button. Hello. Hi. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Go check out Ginger's video. You're going to make a ton of these. Such a great scrap buster. And I hope that you all sell them for your markets and make a ton of money, because you know what? We deserve it. So thanks for joining me. I'll see you in the next one.